Thursday, December 22, 2011. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and you're looking at my wife's 1993 Subaru Impreza. And first day of winter, I'm on vacation for the rest of the year, and it's time to give this car a little bit of attention. A couple of days ago, my wife mentioned that the brakes are making a bit of a grinding noise, and obviously that suggests the front brake pads. Unless the rotors look absolutely terrible, I'm not going to give them any attention. You know, most modern rotors, especially the cheaper ones I buy, really aren't made to be turned. They really only have just enough thickness to be used once. And, you know, if they're still okay, they're still okay. So, really what I tend to do, as I said, is I'll replace the pads in the rotors, wear out the pads, replace the pads one more time, and then the next time I'll replace pads and rotors together. And it works pretty well for me. So, anyhow, I'm going to get started now. The first thing I'm going to have to do is, and I'm only going to show you one side here because both sides in the front will be identical. I have to jack up the car and get the wheel off. Okay, as you can see, I have the car jacked up now. You see the jack there, but it's actually not supporting the car. Right next to it, that orange thing you see is a jack stand with a rubber cover there along the frame rail, or along the rocker panel is actually a much more accurate way of putting it. And that's because you really don't want to be working on a car that's supported just by a jack. You might be able to get away with it, but I certainly wouldn't chance it. Jack stands are always the way to go. Safety first. Jack stands don't cost all that much, and you're, you know, much better off just doing things the safest way possible. So, the car's the wheels up off the ground, and I have loosened the lugs using my lug wrench. But to get them off a little faster, I'm going to be using this. This is my 1/2-inch wrench with a 19mm impact socket and extension. So, let me just show you how much more quickly this will go here. And the lugs come off a little more quickly this way. But obviously you do want to loosen them first. Imagine it would be difficult to impossible to loosen the lugs with just the 1/2-inch drive socket here. So I'm going to continue this and get the wheel off. Now that all the lug nuts are off, I'm going to get the wheel off and out of the way. Okay, before I go any further, actually, I'm going to prepare the new pads for installation. Now, these pads here are nice because they actually did come with brand new shims, and you can see it still has the backing there for the adhesive. So basically what I'm going to do is peel off the adhesive, you know, adhere the pad in place, and then I'm going to use a screwdriver to bend the tabs down. Okay, I've got the new shims installed, and I'm just going to do one more step here. This is CRC disc brake quiet, and I'm actually just going to spread a layer of this on the back of each shim, and it basically does what it says. It kind of just reduces brake noise in the future. I've had good luck with it. It's pretty good stuff. So basically you spread this stuff on, not too thin, not too thick, use your best judgment, and you have to let it set for 10 minutes before you install the pads. You can see this is the thin layer I've spread over the entire back of the pad there, and obviously I'm going to let this dry at least 10 minutes before I install the pads. Now I really can't get in any closer with the camera here on the tripod, but there's a bolt right down here, 14 millimeters. So I've already loosened it up just a little bit, but you basically need to remove this bottom bolt. So that's loosened. So once that bolt is out, the caliper here, which is just a little bit stuck right at the moment, just lifts right up, and the pads should then be able to come out. You just use this piece here. It's obviously good to get a brake pad in there, but what you use this for is you put it in the caliper like so, and then use this to press the caliper piston back into its bore. And that way you can install the new pads with ease. Okay, the new pads are installed, so now I'm just going to lower the caliper housing back in place here, and then reinstall the bolt. Okay, I have the caliper lock pin, that bolt threaded in by hand, so the last step is to torque it down properly, and that should be 25 to 33 foot-pounds according to the manual I'm using, and I'm just going to do it at 31. So I got my torque wrench in here. Okay, that click tells me it is now torqued properly. So okay, the wheel's back on the car, lug nuts are tightened, so the only thing left is just to repeat all those steps on the other side of the car, because you never replace brake pads just on one side of the car. You have to do it, you know, on driver's and passenger side at the same time. I mean, you can do front and rear separately, but never do just one side of the car. So that's all. Hope that helped.